Korundi House of Culture. Korundi House of Culture is located on the Arctic Circle in Rovaniemi, the capital city of Finnish Lapland. It is a versatile event venue brightening up local life, but first and foremost it's the home of two nationally significant and internationally noted art institutions, Rovaniemi Art Museum and Lapland Chamber Orchestra. In the courtyard of Korundi, a beautiful sculpture welcomes visitors to the House of Culture, trying to face the sun all year around. It's called Aurinkopoika, the Sun Boy, by Pekka Kauhanen, one of the most famous sculptors in Finland. The beautiful red brick building is a landmark in its own right, with rich history and the status as a cultural living room for locals. The story of the building begins in 1933, when it was originally built as a post bus depot. In 1944, the centre of Rovaniemi was nearly completely destroyed in World War II, but the post bus depot was left standing. Needless to say, it has both historical and emotional value for the people of Rovaniemi. After the war, the building was expanded using bricks from the ruined city. Older generations remember Vikke the gypsy who rummaged through Rovaniemi with his horse and cart collecting the bricks for the expansion. Therefore, the building serves as a kind of museum that preserves the building blocks of pre-war Rovaniemi. The architecture of Korundi blends the structures, aesthetics, and atmospheres of an old industrial building with the modern elements of Rovaniemi Art Museum and Lapland Chamber Orchestra's concert hall. The aim was to create an architectural discourse where both sides, the wartime brick building and the contemporary architecture of modern time, have their own distinctive voices. The montage draws a parallel between the two eras. The architect that redesigned the old post bus depot to an art museum was Juhani Palasmaa. This happened in 1986, when Rovaniemi Art Museum was originally opened with a donated collection of 500 pieces of Finnish contemporary art. Further renovating took place in 2011, again led by architect Juhani Palasmaa. This time, the old post bus depot had become a house of culture named Korundi. Architect Palasmaa has received praise for his mastery for creating spaces with a palpable atmosphere, a point easily shared as soon as one sets foot inside Korundi. The name Korundi comes from the mineral corundum, which is known as the second hardest mineral in the world. Ruby and sapphire are part of the corundum group, and some of the best corundums can be found in Lapland. A star formation can be produced in a corundum by grinding and polishing the stone, which is why corundums are sometimes appropriately called the stars of Lapland. Founded in 1972, Lapland Chamber Orchestra is the most northern professional chamber orchestra in Finland and in the EU. The orchestra has 18 full-time members, and its artistic director is a world-renowned violinist-conductor John Sturgårds. Based in Rovaniemi, the orchestra is a regional orchestra that regularly tours the province of Lapland but also performs elsewhere in Finland and abroad. The repertoire of Lapland Chamber Orchestra reflects our time. The program includes works by contemporary composers without forgetting the more classical repertoire and gems from different periods. The heart of Korundi House of Culture is the concert hall or Korundi Hall. In this hall, Lapland Chamber Orchestra holds its rehearsals and performances as well as records its albums. The acoustics are world-class, designed specifically for this very orchestra. The warm-toned space, divided by panels and battens, is reminiscent of the interior of an aged string instrument. Imagine sitting down and feeling like you're inside an old violin. The colour motif of the acoustic cabinets, which was designed in cooperation with artist and professor Jorma Hautala, creates a kind of visual music in the hall. Rovaniemi Art Museum, often referred to as the hidden gem of Lapland, offers high-quality exhibitions from all around the Arctic region. The collection of 500 artworks donated in 1986 has expanded to almost 3,400 works of art today. The collection is presented in a myriad of changing exhibition themes that let you explore some of the most impressive Finnish contemporary art. In addition, emphasis is put on Northern art, Indigenous art, and local art. The variety of visiting exhibitions give a comprehensive view of the visual creativity of the Arctic regions. Contemporary art is about this moment. It shows us our lives, the way we treat the environment and each other, the way society works. Contemporary art is the mirror of modern times. In future years, it will guide the historians through the 21st century. What was the political atmosphere? What were the megatrends? Who knows what the Mona Lisa of the year 2800 is going to look like? In Korundi House of Culture, Rovaniemi Art Museum has large modern facilities where beautiful architecture offers splendid ground for having an art experience to remember. With contemporary art, it's not a question of knowing art or trivializing it, but feeling and experiencing it. Be amazed, be amused, be excited, sad, or overwhelmed. Let the Northern art affect you. You're welcome to spend hours with us and come back the next day. In Rovaniemi Art Museum, you get to be a part of the Northern story. Contemporary artists want to point out what it is to live in a modern world. Jiri Geller's works can be thought-provoking and funny at the same time. What will we leave behind? What will the future archaeologists find when they study these times? The skull of Donald Duck, perhaps, like the sculpture Ding Dong suggests. In the world of Disney, there's no death, no sadness, no loss. Still, we recognize the skull of Donald right away. Maybe he's our modern Christ figure with his colorful crown of thorns. Contemporary artists use a variety of different materials and techniques. Sometimes the artworks trick you into thinking that the material used is completely different from what it looks like. Something really heavy is made to look light, or the other way around. Something that takes a month's work can appear to be made with a 3D printer. The finished work should look effortless and the time spent on it should not be visible. However, creating an illusion like this requires months of hard work in a studio covered with resin dust. At first glance, it looks as if the animals are marching to Noah's Ark in Maria Virkkuli's installation. However, some of them are going in another direction than the others. There's also one who has stepped away from the group, an independent survivor, an outsider. What are the things that affect our opinions and feelings, the way we look at the world? What truth do we choose to follow? Religion, science, art? At one end of the line of animals is the Bible, and at the other is the Quran. There are also arguments taking place along the way, animals preying on each other on both sides. Artists can use ready-made objects in a way we would never have thought they could be used. Or they can use materials that keep changing over time. They can also build machines or use heavy technological structures. Preserving the art of our time can also be a challenge. One of the most influential and emotional artworks in the museum's collection is Markus Koppe's Kursk. It's a good example of how one historical event can influence the artist and the audience through him. Art often tells the untold histories, ones otherwise left unnoticed, and reminds us of ones already forgotten. Marcus Kopper was devastated about the news of the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk sinking in an accident on the 12th of August 2000 in the Barents Sea. All 118 men working on board were killed. The artwork shows men who went to rescue the crew, not knowing all of them were already dead. The accident turned out to be a political catastrophe, but the ones forgotten on the way were the real victims, the members of the crew who suffered a terrible death. The skillful sculptures of Kim Simonsen create a unique, mystical world around them. Simonsen combines the imagery of Japanese manga with Western visual arts tradition. Decorative sculptures feature animals, children, and other familiar characters that send chills down the viewer's spine. The primitiveness of wild nature and the innocence of a child are often intertwined, as in the voodoo girl who seems nothing but sympathetic at first glance. The child and the moss have grown together, creating a strong tension in the artwork. Simonsen's moss children stand as ambassadors for a new, inevitable future. Whether it's going to be a dystopia or a utopia depends on the viewer's interpretation. In addition to world-class exhibitions, Rovaniemi Art Museum offers a possibility to learn about contemporary art hands-on. Customized workshops for groups let you make art yourself and explore your own personal creativity. You don't need to be an artist to join the fun. Just relax and enjoy the colors. Let your creativity flow and enjoy the company of your friends and family. The workshops are based on exhibitions currently on display. First, you get to know the exhibition on a guided tour. Walking through the exhibition, you are allowed to wander, have a conversation, and say your opinion. At the art workshop, everyone creates their own piece of art that is inspired by exhibitions. You can also work together as a group. If you want, you can choose the theme, method, and technique for your group. For example, stories, places, colors, and shapes of the Northern Lights are often present in contemporary art in the North. In the Northern Lights workshop, you draw inspiration from the exhibitions and create your own Northern Lights masterpiece. If you are interested in painting, drawing, or graphic art, or maybe making your own sculpture, we can customize the workshop to answer your needs. Workshops are instructed by museum education professionals, and they are suitable for groups of all ages. The materials and methods are easy to handle, and new techniques are introduced step by step. On the way, you can find intriguing new ideas, materials, and above all, the joy of success. Lastly, you get to take your own artwork back home with you. Spice up your museum visit and come refresh yourself with art winged with insights and experiences. All you need to do is book the workshop in advance and come enjoy the fun. Korundi is a lively house of culture for both locals and visitors. Besides the inspiring content that Rovaniemi Art Museum and Lapland Chamber Orchestra provide, Korundi also showcases Finnish artists and bands throughout the year, offering something for everyone. The charming Korundi shop completes your visit with an eclectic selection of Arctic art and design. The high-quality local products make unique gifts and souvenirs. Debuting in September 2020, Korundi Kitchen and Cafe is a fresh lunch restaurant, an atmospheric art cafe, and an enchanting meeting spot in a refurbished historical post bus depot. Visiting Korundi offers an exceptional view to life in the north through art. Your northern experience can be expanded with the Culture Pass, your one ticket to 3 of Rovaniemi's premier cultural attractions. In addition to Korundi, Culture Pass grants access to Museum and Science Centre Arcticum and Science Centre Pilke. Arcticum is your introduction to the north, focusing on Arctic issues and the history and culture of Lapland. Pilke explores northern forests and the use of wood in fun and exciting ways. Culture Pass is a multi-entry ticket valid for 7 days. Visit the 3 attractions as many times as you like. We warmly welcome you to explore the northern dimension of art in the stunning atmosphere of Korundi House of Culture.